Moses never gave up until God told him to stop praying to get into the land of Israel. We have to do our part. We have to try as much as we can. We have to do our hishtadlut, put in our efforts, but understand that once we put it in the hands of God and let God be the one who decides, that everything will turn out for the good. This week's Torah portion speaks about a very sad episode which takes place. After all of the festivity of the opening and the inauguration of the Mishkan, after the full 7 days of Moses doing and performing the services, there were two individuals who made their own arrangements. And their arrangements did not come out as planned, as they planned. Nadav and Avihu, the two eldest sons of Aharon HaKohen, the Torah says they brought an ZERA, a foreign fire, on the altar. An ZERA could have two connotations. The first of a foreign fire, an unwelcomed and unwanted fire. But the Midrash Me'am Loez goes further to say that they came with foreign and crooked thoughts. They came to one another and they said, look at these two old men, Moses and Aaron, our father and uncle. It's time that we replace them. We should do the service. We should come and do what's needed. Let's take the initiative and do it ourselves. They come with their foreign fire, and in the midst of preparing their service the way they wanted to do it, fire, no less than 4 beams of fire, the Midrash explains, come down striking from the skies. 2 beams each into each of the nostrils of Nadav and Avihu, burning them to a crisp from the inside and leaving them with proper dignity and in completion from the outside. They looked like they just dropped dead after the burning took place. But they were literally hollow inside to maintain some sense of dignity in such a holy place. At that moment, the Torah tells us, and I read, chapter 10, verse 13. Vayomer Moshe el Aharon, Moses tells his brother Aaron, Hu asher diber Adonai lemor. This, what took place, was the will of God. Bikrovai ekadesh. That God means to say, I will be sanctified through those who are close to me. Ve'al kol penei ha'am ekaved. And I'll be honored before the entire people. And now the famous 2 words, Vayidom Aharon. And Aaron fell silent. He did not answer. Aaron, arguably the second most powerful person in the world at that time, short just to Moses, just had one of the most humiliating and heartbreaking moments of his life. His 2 eldest sons burnt to a crisp in his face after they made a mistake. No sign of anger, no sign of doubt, no question, no acceptance even. Who's Aaron to accept what God did and say, yeah, God did something good? No! It's like the halakha. If your father or your mother says something, you're not allowed to disagree. You're even not allowed to agree in a public forum, if anyone else is around. Who am I to strengthen the opinion of my father or my mother? Do they need me? to give them credit? Excuse me. Absolutely not. Same with Aaron. Aaron needs to give God credit and announce, thank you, God, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I accept it. He fell silent. Now we know, let's take a step back, that the reason why Nadav and Avihu did what they did, we see in the aftermath that it's because they were intoxicated. They drank and got drunk before this. And that would explain a foreign fire, thoughts of wanting to replace their father and their uncle. The Midrash tells us that Aaron received a special reward for his silence. And his silence was that God spoke alone to Aaron when it came to teaching the Jewish people the laws of intoxication during and by the service in the temple by the Kohanim. The prohibition and what is and isn't allowed. This is the first and only time that Aaron himself had a private audience with God, and that he was the source for something to be taught. It was Moses for the rest. But a private audience and him being the source, it was specifically this. So the ZERA SHIMSHON asks, out of all rewards, why this one? A private audience, a law taught directly and through him. Why specifically this? He answers by quoting a verse in Tehillim. King David writes in chapter 50, verse 23. Listen to the following. Zoveach toda yichabidaneni. He who offers confession honors me. Visam derech, and one who orders his way, ar'enu beyesha Elohim. I, God says, will show him the salvation of God. Through this verse, the ZERA SHIMSHON explains that Aaron honored God with his silence, with his complete and unwavering faith and acceptance of what just took place, as heartbreaking and as sad as it could have been. God paid him back and told him, for your faithfulness, come close. Let me give you a private audience with me. Let me teach something to the Jewish people forevermore, specifically through you. This is why the ZERA SHIMSHON says that he was given this gift. The gift of the reward for silence. Silence represented complete acceptance, complete emunah bitachon, belief and trust. What happened was for the good. God says, I see you displayed that. Come right over here, one-on-one time. Let me do something specific to you. This is a very strong lesson for us, ladies and gentlemen. For us, getting angry at something means I disagree with what God sends my way. It's His mistake. Shemini, how can we say that? And if we take what God sends us with love and complete acceptance the way Aaron did, each of us in our own way, not exactly the way Aaron had it, but each of us in our own way will have that connection and audience with God the way Aaron did. Our own specific and unique revelation and connection and relationship to God the way Aaron had it. And the merit of his silence, which represented his unwavering and unshakable faith, that he accepted the death of his two sons in his own eyes as if nothing better could have happened.